Huh. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. That's a little better. If you guys have followed me for any length of time, you know that you know where I fall on certain issues. And it's not like a big secret or anything. And if you follow me for any length of time, you know that there's something that it is that I say a lot. And that is, just because it's common doesn't make it legal. And just because it's legal doesn't make it right. It is common for police officers to bend the rules, to fit their objective, to fit their agenda, to fit their end game, their goal, their quota, whatever you want to call it. It's common. Doesn't make it legal. But then we get into, at one point it was also legal for you to have another human being as property, have them chained up, beat them, do whatever the fuck you felt like doing to them. It was legal at one point. So sometimes we get into this place where the law has to catch up with humanity and sometimes common sense. Almost every time I see something being said about NFL players kneeling or anybody kneeling during the national anthem, you get the classic argument. But what about how it disrespects our men and women in uniform? What about that? That's what you get every time. Now, we've had enough veterans who have spoken out and said that this is not disrespectful to us because these are the things that it is that we fought for. Even the veteran that Colin Kaepernick met with, who told him, instead of sitting, how about kneeling? Kneeling shows respect and still gets your point across. And Colin went from sitting to kneeling and everybody followed suit. So I want to know what the right wing, not the alt-right, we know that these guys, but what the right-winger so-called classic conservatives, what their excuse is for E.J. Bradford. E.J. Bradford, if you do not know this name, and you probably will, hopefully you will very soon, is the active duty soldier who was home on leave for Thanksgiving, who was shot and killed by police in an Alabama mall, because police said that he was the active shooter. You guys heard about the shooting that happened in the mall and everything like that. And they said, oh, we got the shooter. We killed him. We killed the shooter. The shooter is currently at large. Now, I knew about the story, but I ran into the details of it on a post that someone shared from Sean King. We're not even going to go into my feelings on that man, but let's just say that the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter who it is that tells it. And as per now, the shooter, the actual shooter, is still at large. There's a video that was sent to Sean King showing E.J. Bradford not only being denied medical treatment after he was shot, wrongfully shot, but also being continuously assaulted and harassed while he was on the ground, laying there fighting for his life. This is a man who was actively serving in our military. This is a man who, because he was black, fit the description, right? And this is the same exact thing that it is that people kneel for, that people protest for, that people have become socially active for. This is the same thing that it is that we've seen time and time again, and we've seen this argument over and over and over again Well, if you don't like this country, pack your shit and get out. If you don't respect this flag, I'll help you pack your bags and you can go somewhere else. This is a man who signed a contract payable up into his life for this country, who was killed because of his skin color. And I don't care what you fuckers have to say about let's wait till all the facts come out. Here are the only facts that we truly need to know at this point. A, he was not the shooter. B, the police shot and killed him. That's all we need to know. It has gotten to a point to where no matter how many times I've said before that, hey, let's try to find a way to sit down and have a conversation and work some things out. I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why it is that I was able to make the impact that it is that I made when I first came onto the scene is because I tipped my hand a little bit and let them see this team of people. And they're like, oh shit, there's power there. If we do certain things, and certain things may happen. And then I mistakenly pulled back on that a little bit. And then the other thing happened. But it seems like no matter how many times I say, let's go and let's have this conversation, and the only time that people in power are willing to listen is when they are faced with power that is equal to their own, or power that threatens their own. So this is what I'm going to say. I'm not calling for you guys to get out here and go and shoot up fucking random police officers and shit like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I'm saying is, the officer or officers that killed this man, let's find out who they are. Let's get into their business. Let's look at the things that it is that they've done over the career of their law enforcement career. Let's take a look at that. Let's dig into this department as a whole. Let's start shining a light in all the dark corners that this department has, like every department has. Let's dig up the dirt, bring it out, because these folks, and this needs to be the standard. Every time that there is a department who it is that co-signs for an officer that wrongfully kills someone, we need to dig into that officer, his ass, her ass, and we need to dig into that department deep. And that needs to be the standard every fucking time, because that's the only way that it is that we get results. And please don't pull a Euclid. And what I mean is the citizens of Euclid. Don't pull a Euclid. Don't be fooled by somebody who, drives a halfway decent car, wears moderately expensive suits, and has a fucking prefix or suffix attached to their name that makes them seem more important than they actually are. The ground level fighters, the smart ones, get behind them in your communities. Because these are the people who it is that are going to actually get out there and put in work. And keep the pressure on. Don't let up. Because you see what happens when you let off the pressure, or you put one of those bozos in charge. These guys start getting their jobs back and everything goes back to how it was. I ride through the state of Alabama a lot. I ride through a lot of these different states. I saw a post yesterday where there were, I don't want to say white nationalists or something like that were collecting money for what do you call it? They're out there ringing a bell in front of the store. They're collecting money for them. They have on their fucking vest and all of this type of stuff, and they're out there, they're collecting money. I ride through Georgia a lot. The police, the state troopers in Georgia are pulling over black drivers and picking with them and everything to get them to make certain moves so that they can shoot them or beat them. I drive through these places all the time, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a concern where I park my truck and when I'm going into these stores and I see these different officers in and out, these different state troopers in and out. Power has to be met with power. That is the only way we get results. And it's not a secret. The reason why, and I hate to jump back into this, but the reason why that Malcolm and Martin were both killed is if they were to find a comfortable medium between both of their approaches, none of this shit would be as it is right now. That should tell you something. We need a comfortable medium between both approaches. We need to be able to speak, have a game plan, be willing to compromise, be willing to sit down at the table, come up with solutions. And then if we are ignored, left to sit in the room and ponder these things by ourselves and then excused, we need to be ready to take action. I don't know what else has to happen for y'all to actually wake up and realize that this shit is more serious than who's your favorite rapper or what the Kardashians are doing or who got their ass injected with enough silicone to fucking secure the shipment of a fucking porcelain horse. I need you guys to understand that if you don't give a fuck about your life, your kids' lives, your brothers, your sisters, your moms, uncles, daddies, whoever, nobody else will. All the time I tell you, it always seems so far from home, and it's you'll hashtag a name, you'll share a post, but you're never angry enough to take action until it's somebody that it is that you know. Stop that shit. Because it's almost too late to turn it back.